Welcome to your chemistry class. Today we are discussing the second chapter is matter around us pure. In your first chapter you have already studied what is matter. What is matter? Anything which occupies space is matter. For example, water is matter, chair is a matter, smoke coming from the chimney is also a matter. Now can you tell me what is not considered as matter? Yes, shallow thoughts, these emotions, this all are not considered as matters. Now, we can divide matter into solid, liquid, and gas based on the physical properties. And these physical properties we discussed in our first chapter. And in this chapter, we are going to learn the chemical properties of matter. Chemical properties of matter we are discussing in this chapter. So, in this chapter, we are going to study how this matter is divided according to the chemical properties. Let's start. That is, matter can be divided into two types according to the based on the chemical properties. That is pure substance and impure substance. So, what is a pure substance? In our day-to-day life, we are dealing with so many things like pure milk, pure water. We are hearing every time these words pure. So, according to science, we want to know what is a pure substance. According to scientists, a pure substance is one which is made up of only one kind of particles. A pure substance is one which is made up of only one kind of particles. I'm going to explain you with some simple examples. Did you know gold, a pure gold? We all are familiar with gold, and gold is only made up of gold particles, and the chemical name of gold is Au, and this gold is made up of a pure gold is made up of only gold particles. We are talking about pure gold, not the mixture of gold with silver, copper or something. And the ornaments we are using are a mixture of gold and copper. So you cannot further separate this pure gold by physical means. Physical means evaporation or distillation, any process. So pure substance cannot be separated into simpler substance by physical method. And the pure substances are made up of only one kind of particles. Water is also an example of pure substances. Water particles cannot be further divided or cannot be separated into any other particles. It is only water particles. We have already discussed about pure substance. Now, what is impure substance? Yes, impure substance is also known as mixtures. So, what is a mixture? A mixture contains two or more pure substances mixed together. What is a mixture? A mixture contains two or more pure substances mixed together. Mixture contains two or more different kind of particles. In a mixture, two or more different kinds of particles you can see. In the case of potassium permanganate solution, this potassium permanganate solution is a mixture. What are the different kind of particles you can see in a potassium permanganate solution? Can you see? Yes, potassium permanganate particles and water particles. When these potassium permanganate particles and water particles mix together, you will get potassium permanganate solution. In the same way, soil is also a mixture. Soil contains different types of particles. That is sand, clay, twigs, all these things you can see in the soil particles. So, soil is also an example for impure substance. Now, let's discuss more about pure substances. What is the difference between gold and water in terms of the particles? We already told that gold and water are pure substances. Now, can you find any difference between gold and water in terms of the particles? In the case of gold, if we are considering the atoms, gold contains only Au atoms. The chemical name of gold is Au. Au atoms only. Gold, that is, this gold is made up of only one type of atoms. But in the case of water, if we are considering the water molecules, each water molecules contains hydrogen atom and oxygen atom. Did you know the chemical name of water? Chemical composition, that is H2O. H2O means this water molecules is a combination of two hydrogen atom and one oxygen atom. So, this gold is an example of an element. Water is an example of compounds. Now, are you confused what is an element and compound? We want to know what is an element and what is a compound. Element contains only one type of atoms. So, in the case of gold, gold is an element. Why? Because it contains only Au atoms, one type of atom, and that is called elements. And elements is a substance which cannot be split up into two or more simpler substances by chemical methods. Elements cannot be split up into two or more simpler substances by chemical methods, and elements are regarded as the simplest substances in chemistry. So gold is an example for element, iron is an example of element, silver is an example of elements. So what is compounds? Can you say what are compounds? Compound is a substance composed of two or more elements chemically combined with one another in a fixed proportion. What? Compound is a substance composed of two or more elements chemically combined with one another in a fixed proportion. In case of water molecules contains two type of atoms. That is, hydrogen atom is there and oxygen atom is there. These hydrogen atoms combines with the oxygen atom in a fixed proportion. That is, two hydrogen atoms combines with the one oxygen atom. We will get what? Water molecules. This H2O, only in the case of H2O, it is known as water. If it is H3O, the substance changes. So, it should be in a correct fixed proportion. So, what is a compounds? Compounds is a substance composed of two or more elements chemically combined with one another in a fixed proportion. Now, can you take sugar? Did you know what's the chemical name of sugar? Can you say sugar is an element of compound? Yes, sugar is a compound. Why? Because sugar is sugar, the chemical name is C12H22O11. That is, sugar is a combination of 12 carbon atoms, 22 hydrogen atoms, and 11 oxygen atoms. In the case of salt, what is the chemical name of salt? NaCl. We already know. These NaCl are different type of atoms. That is, Na sodium atom and Cl chlorine atom. The sodium atom and chlorine atom combined in a fixed proportion, we will get salt. So, hope you understand what is the difference between elements and compounds. These two are pure substances. That is only one particle. We cannot separate this into any other particles. But these are combined in different forms. That if it is combined with only one atom, it is called element. And if it is combined with more than one type of element, it is called compounds. These are regarded as the simplest substances in chemistry. The number of elements known at present are more than 100. 92 elements are naturally occurring and the rest are man-made. Majority of the elements are solid and 11 elements are in gaseous state at room temperature and 2 elements are liquid at room temperature. That is, mercury and bromine are at liquid at room temperature. And you can see the periodic table when you go to the upper classes. And the elements can be normally divided into metals, non-metals and metalloids. Now, can you classify the following pure substances as elements or compounds? That is oxygen, hydrogen, salt, water and silver. Just try to do and send it to me. Okay. Let us discuss more about mixtures. So, what is mixtures? Mixtures are impure substances. Mixtures are different formed by different kind of particles. Mixtures are different kinds of particles. And mixtures can be divided into two types. That is, homogeneous mixtures and heterogeneous mixtures. How do we classify the mixtures as homogeneous or heterogeneous mixtures? What is the criteria for classifying homogeneous or heterogeneous mixtures? We want to know that. Homogeneous means uniform composition and heterogeneous means non-uniform composition. What do you mean by this uniform composition and non-uniform composition? In schools, can you recollect you are wearing uniforms? That is having the same dress pattern. That means the word uniform means it looks same throughout. And if we are taking potassium permanganate solution, that is KMnO4 solution, you can see the same throughout the solution. It's not water on the top, deep color on bottom. It is same everywhere. It is uniformly in purple color. So we can say that this potassium permanganate is a homogeneous mixture. Now, can you take another example, soil? Soil is also a mixture. Can you say whether soil is homogeneous or heterogeneous? Yes, soil is heterogeneous. Why soil is heterogeneous? Because it is non-uniform in composition. You can see something that is in the case of soil. If you look at the soil, you can see in some parts lumps of clay and in some other parts lumps of sand, and it is not mixed uniformly throughout. So we can say that soil is a heterogeneous mixture. Now, can you classify the following substances as homogeneous or heterogeneous mixtures? First, oil and water. Second, sugar solution. And third, aerated drink, soda. And fourth, iron and sulfur powder. Just do it in your notebook and send it to me. Okay. Homogeneous mixtures are also known as solutions. So, what is a solution? A solution is a homogeneous mixture of two or more substances. A solution has a solvent and a solute in it. Usually we think of a solution as a liquid that contains either a solid, liquid or a gas dissolved in it. But we can also have solid solutions. Example for solid solutions are alloys and gaseous solution. Example for gaseous solutions are air. In a solution, there is a homogeneity at the particle level. For example, lemonade taste is the same throughout. This shows that particles of sugar or salt are evenly distributed in the solution. So what is a solute and a solvent? We want to know that. The component of the solution that dissolves the other component in it. Usually the component present in larger amount is called the solvent. What is solvent? The component of the solution that dissolves the other component is called solvent. And what is solute? The component of the solution that is dissolved in the solvent, usually present in lesser quantity, is called the solute. I will give you an example. A solution of sugar in water is a solid in liquid solution. Sugar in water is a solid in liquid solution. In this solution, sugar is the solute and water is the solvent. Now hope you understand the concept what is solute and what is solvent. And one more example I will give you. A solution of iodine in alcohol known as tincture of iodine has iodine solid as the solute and alcohol liquid as the solvent. What are the properties of a solution? A solution is a homogeneous mixture. The particles of a solution are smaller than 1 nanometer in diameter, so they cannot be seen by naked eyes. Because of very small particle size, they do not scatter a beam of light passing through the solution. So the path of light is not visible in a solution. Solute particles cannot be separated from the mixture by the process of filtration. The solute particles do not settle down when left undisturbed. That is, a solution is stable. Heterogeneous mixtures are also known as suspension. What is suspension? A suspension is a heterogeneous mixture in which the solute particles do not dissolve but remain suspended throughout the bulk of the medium. Particles of a suspension are visible to the naked eye. A suspension is a heterogeneous mixture in which the solute particles do not dissolve but remain suspended throughout the bulk of the medium. So what are the properties of a suspension? Suspension is a heterogeneous mixture and the particles of a suspension can be seen by the naked eye. The particles of a suspension scatter a beam of light passing through it and make its path visible. The solute particles settle down when a suspension is left undisturbed. That is, a suspension is unstable. They can be separated from the mixture by the process of filtration. When the particles settle down, the suspension breaks and it does not scatter light anymore. Now, what is a colloidal solution? Colloids are heterogeneous mixtures in which particle size is too small to be seen with the naked eye, but it is big enough to scatter light. Due to the relatively smaller size of particles as compared to that of a suspension, the mixture appears to be homogeneous. But actually a colloidal solution is a heterogeneous mixture. For example, milk. And because of the small size of colloidal particles, we cannot see them with the naked eyes. But these particles can easily scatter a beam of visible light. This scattering of beam of light is called the Tyndall effect, after the name of the scientist who discovered this effect. Tyndall effect can also be observed when a fine beam of light enters a room through a small hole. This happens due to the scattering of light by the particles of dust and smoke in the air. So, what are the properties of a colloid? A colloid is a heterogeneous mixture. The size of the particles of a colloid is too small to be individually seen by naked eyes. Colloids are big enough to scatter a beam of light passing through it and make its path visible. They do not settle down when left undisturbed. That is, a colloid is quite stable and they cannot be separated from the mixture by the process of filtration. But a special technique of separation is known as centrifugation. The components of a colloidal solution are the dispersed phase and the dispersion medium. The solute-like component or the dispersed particles in a colloid form the dispersed phase, and the component in which the dispersed phase is suspended is known as the dispersion medium. Colloids are classified according to the state of the dispersing medium and the dispersed phase. Few examples are given in the tables in the textbook. Next is concentration of a solution. The concentration of a solution is the amount of solute present per unit volume or per unit mass of the solution or solvent. The concentration of a solution is the amount of solute present per unit volume or per unit mass of the solution or solvent. There are various ways of expressing the concentration of a solution, but here we will learn only two methods. Mass by mass percentage of a solution is equal to mass of solute divided by mass of solution into 100, and mass by volume percentage of a solution is equal to mass of a solute divided by volume of a solution into 100.
Depending upon the amount of solute present in a solution, it can be called a dilute, concentrated, or a saturated solution. At any particular temperature, a solution that has dissolved as much solute as it is capable of dissolving is said to be a saturated solution. The amount of the solute present in the saturated solution at this temperature is called its solubility. And if the amount of solute contained in a solution is less than the saturation level, it is called an unsaturated solution.
So what are the things we discussed today? A matter based on the chemical properties. We can divide the matter into two types, that are pure substances and impure substances. Pure substances can be divided into elements and compounds. That is, elements are made up of only one type of atoms, and compounds are made up of two or more type of elements, and these elements and compounds cannot be further divided by any physical method. And this impure substances, otherwise known as mixtures, and impure substances are again divided into homogeneous mixtures and heterogeneous mixtures, and these mixtures can be separated into simple substances by physical methods, and homogeneous mixtures are solutions. Solutions are also known as homogeneous mixtures, and heterogeneous mixtures are suspension. Suspensions are also a heterogeneous mixtures. And another thing we studied is what is a colloidal solution. Colloidal solution seems to be equal, same as that of suspension or solution, but it is actually different from solution and a suspension.